Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Habari gani? That's how we say hello in Swahili, by the way. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Aloha. Bonjour. Namaste. Nihama. Ohio. Ciao. Yeah. Just a little taste and reminder of who we really are as a country, isn't it? Nelson Mandela once said this: if you speak to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. But if you speak to him in his own language, that goes to his heart. The title to my story today is Be the Game Changer. It all started when my other half and I talked into moving into this formerly very rough neighborhood in downtown Cincinnati, Ohio, that was drastically revitalizing. This place was once the part of town you did not want to get caught in, but had become the place to be if you really wanted to have fun in the evening. The area is called Over the Rhine, also known as OTR. We moved into a section of OTR, also known as the Pendleton. On the day we moved in, one of our movers warned me to be careful about my surroundings, since even though OTR had really turned around, that part wasn't there yet. A guy had been shot dead in a vacant store underneath the building next to ours. So, after we were all moved in, I decided to take trash out to the dumpsters located on the back patio of our building, when I noticed all this beautiful, beautiful work of art on our walls. Then I also noticed there was an alley that crossed the rear section of our buildings with even more beautiful artwork lining the walls. I love art. At this point, I decided to take a little tour of that entire alley, the length of several blocks, just to see what else there was. The condition of that alley was simply unbearable, to say the least. Trash everywhere. Rotten food, puke, couches, mattresses, needles, broken glass, feces, construction waste, and any pile of trash you could think of. But the walls, on the other hand, were a work of wonder, the hard work of creativity, of local artists of all kinds, and beautiful graffiti full of meaning and message. Just as I got to the end and started walking back, I noticed that while I was too busy being distracted by the walls, I had stepped on a fresh pile of poop all over my new Nikes. And just as I had wiped most of it off and was walking back, a huge black trash bag full of trash came crashing just a few inches behind me. It was as if someone was doing target practice on me from one of the tall residential buildings bordering the alley. I looked back and looked up to see where it came from, kind of with a smile on my face, when all of a sudden one of those windows went shut. Oh, okay, I thought, that must be my welcome to the neighborhood prank. Very funny. That was until I noticed a gazillion more similar trash bags with trash in them all around that very same area, and thought, oh no, not so funny, and you missed. It became clear to me that day that this beautiful, beautiful alley had turned into a dumping ground. So, on my first day off, after we had settled in, I cleaned our back patio, which was also open to the public, and the area of the alley around it. After that, I noticed people taking pictures and selfies on our back patio, but wouldn't attempt to walk the entire alley because they were too intimidated. The next day I was off, I dedicated the whole entire day into cleaning the entire alley. The next chance I had after that, I not only cleaned the entire alley, which had become now easier to clean, but I went around the block and did the street in front of our buildings as well. Met a lot of cool neighbors and new friends that day who thanked me for what I was doing, especially after they found out that I was not a city employee and I was not getting paid for it. On one day, this lady, as I was cleaning the alley, took a picture of me and posted it on Instagram, which caught the attention of former and current city officials. Next thing I know, I'm being summoned to appear in a city council's meeting by the mayor of our city, by recommendation of the city councilman named David Mann. In this meeting, I was recognized for my efforts at that Pendleton's Bolivar Alley and was given an award of recognition that said this: "Be it proclaimed where else, George Omondi believes that all citizens of his adopted city, Cincinnati, deserve a clean and beautiful environment, and where else? George thinks all Cincinnatians must do their part to maintain a litter-free city, and where else? George became a role model of such civic engagement by cleaning Bolivar Alley in the Pendleton neighborhood, restoring this beautiful mural-filled passageway to a clean and safe pass-through with the help of his fellow residents, and where else? George used social media to organize and encourage others to do the same in their neighborhoods, and where else? George lives by the motto, be a part of the solution, not the problem, and where else? The city of Cincinnati recognizes George Odendo for his service to our community. Now, therefore, I, John Cranley, Mayor of the City of Cincinnati, do hereby proclaim September 16th, 2020 as George Odendo Day in Cincinnati."
Wow.
That was aired on the evening local news that day, and the Pendleton Art Gallery began advertising Bolivar Alley as yet another attraction site to see. My friend Andrew Salzburn and his church group installed solar lights so that people could see the art at night, and folks started coming in the numbers, posting pictures and making music videos. I thank God to this day because my other half is the reason we moved there in the first place, even though I didn't like it at first. I see now why everyone says everything happens for a reason. Everything you're going through right now, should you choose the path of growth, is preparing you for what you asked for or for who you are meant to be. So let me end my story by saying this. Besides the Native Americans who are the original inhabitants of this great land, this country is and always will be a country of immigrants. It really doesn't matter where you or your ancestors may have come from. We, along with the rightful original inhabitants, are the ones who made this country great. And there is not a single person who can say or do anything to change that fact. Martin Luther King once said this: "Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others?" And I just choose to say, let's start by treating others in the ways we would like to be treated. Thank you, Nestor. Thank you, audience. Thank you, organizers, for giving me the chance to tell the story.